Bearded Bob here. Just doing some water changing today. Doing about 50% in all the tanks. It's been probably a few months since we've done 50% changes, but this one had a nice bacterial bloom. Pretty gross in there right now. Got all the heaters unplugged. So the first thing I did was I unplugged all the heaters in the room. So hopefully I remember to plug them all back in too. So we just got the 10 gallons. So this one went back on its cycle. I know I stuffed that goldfish and a Tetra in here, and he dirtied up the tank rather quickly, so I had to put him in a 20 long that I just finished cycling, so I'm sure that one's going to go back on it too. But so we're just trying to recycle this tank and make it work. This one's got an automatic drip system in there, but once in a while I still like to throw out a 50% water change, fill it back up with nice clean water. So I fertilize all these tanks, so this is kind of the reset that I do on Sundays. And oops, excuse that Mountain Dew there. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's all jerky here too. Perfect. So we're just gonna go around and drain some water. I'll check in if I see anything cool. But basically, this is the day. See you in a few. Also taking this opportunity to scoop out as much duckweed out of these aquariums as I can. I don't want to get rid of it completely because I've been saving it, throwing it in the freezer, rinsing it out really well first, of course, and saving it so I can make some fish food later. This one I'm just going to leave it in there just because it's going back on its cycle. I don't really have any other plants that are in there. So this one's just too tough to scoop with all these babies. Every time I try to scoop duckweed out of here, I end up with a bunch of babies in the net. It is not fun. So I'm just letting her ride. I'm also going to do a little bit of filter maintenance on all these tanks. So on these ones, usually, oh, I took out the floss already, okay. Well, I usually take out the sponge and rinse that out in the sink really well. And then this one here is just the cartridge that just has pinky floss in it. So I'll throw that in the sink, rinse it out, maybe replace it. That's the end of that. I never shut off these filters. I always let them keep running because I've noticed you shut off one of these hang on the back filters, usually you have a hard time getting it to go again. But as you can see, there's still water in there, so it's not going to overheat. This isn't going to be sitting like this for very long. We'll put more water in it soon. But basically what I do is, I got the Python, I got this hook that I made that goes a little bit further into the tank, so I can do 50% water changes on this 55 gallon too. And I'll let it go down about halfway with the Python, do all of the tanks that I'm doing, and then flip the water back the other way and fill them all back up. That way I can temperature control the entire room to about 76, 78. That's where most of these tanks are sitting at. So I'll start off with a tank that doesn't really have anything in it, and then watch the temperature, make sure it's sitting right. And then by the time I get to the rest of these, it's dialed in pretty well. And all right, we're at about 50% here. I'm gonna go ahead and move the hose, rinse. I always take this filter sponge off, rinse it out really well, just so I don't cross-contaminate anything. Sometimes, like on this one here, I didn't use it because I didn't want to cross-contaminate whatever's blooming in there with all the rest of the tanks. Alright, so let me get this moved over and I'll get right back to you. Here we go, we're on the last tank. Got all these other ones 50%ed. This one a little bit less. I didn't really need it. I just set this up. See if we can get a shot of these cool guys. The surprise shrimp. Come on. Yeah, well, get the point. There's some pretty cool ones in here. I really like this guy. Right there. It's almost, all I see is purple, so. Purple and brown. Not really sure, but it looks like a lot of these are going to be that kind of color. So, see some that are still pretty blue, like in the back. Ooh, that one's kind of dirty. Maybe this did need it. I did clean out all the pre-filter sponges in all of these tanks. I need to add one down here. Ooh, come on. There we go. Focus. Yeah, this filter sponge is the last one I need to do, but I got to drain this water down so that I don't, because there's always the Amano shrimp around here all the time, and these Neos. They're always just all over that, and there's so many of them that are so tiny that I can't even see them. So I don't want to take it out of there knowing that there's probably a bunch of shrimp on there. So this is the only way I can do it, is when I pull this down about 50%. That way this goes out of the water, all the shrimp go down to the bottom, hopefully. Yeah, that's that. Still got our drip system kind of dripping in there. I think this is, thought it was about 12 gallons per day, but I think I'm a little bit wrong. I thought it was half gallon an hour. I think it's about half of that. So 0.25 gallons per hour, 6 gallons a day maybe. So I don't change a ton of water through here, but I always want to have it flowing in and flowing out through the overflow. Same thing with this down here. Why? I don't know. I just like it. So you can see all these guys finally starting to get off of this filter. Ooh, look at all the gunk. Yeah, that's all inside that filter. This filter sponge is a little coarser than the other ones, and it really clings onto this duckweed. The duckweed will be embedded halfway through this filter, but this is the only one I found that was big enough to fit over this overflow tube, or inflow tube, or whatever. So that's just what I got. That's what I'm working with. We're almost there. These guys are starting to realize they're not going to be able to stay on longer, and they're going to get off. But a little quick update on these crypts. These crypts are doing awesome. Well, we got a bunch of new baby ones. Let's see if we can find one here. There's one right back there, popped up. There's one right in the middle there that popped up. There's one right there, and one right there. So these are doing good. This micro sword too is also spreading pretty good. You can see its roots starting to walk its way around the aquarium. The only other place I've got that micro sword is down here. Focus. There we go. And again, it's doing really well. I did stick some root tabs in this one underneath this, underneath these guys, and they're loving it. You can see that's probably right about where that root tab is, where it's all whoop blossoming. All right, we're just about there, and then I'll cut back here when I'm filling up tanks and stuff here. All right, see you in a minute. All right, so we're starting to get full. Got the first one done, the little 10 gallon. And we're filling this up. You can kind of see the haze in that water. Big bloom. I don't know what to do about that right now. I might throw some carbon in there and see if it'll help clear it up, but yeah, play it by ear. So I gotta be very careful because this thing spits out water pretty fast. And I just have a little diverter down there, so just like a T, just so it doesn't shoot straight down into the bottom of the tank and mess everything up. That's getting pretty close. So this tank here, it does have the bright wall in there, and I'm kind of kicking myself. I wanted to do some Caridina shrimp here, which is why I set up this tank in the first place. But the ones that I really fell in love with are the orange eye royal blue tigers, and apparently tigers do better in neo parameters than they do in Caridina parameters. So now I've got this tank full of very expensive substrate that I'm filling up just from the tap, just because. Oop, I think we're just, yep, we're there. I'm gonna shut this off quick. Alright, so that one's full. I'll move this to the next one, which should just be the guppy tank here. A little algae scraping here. We just use some pinky floss to do it, but whatever. Throw this guy on there. These guys love their water change. Sorry about that. Whoa. See how much pressure we got in there. So these fill up pretty quick, so I gotta stay right on top of these. Anyways, so I want the orange eye royal blue tigers, but I got a tank that's set up for basically crystals and Taiwan bees and stuff, so I don't know what to do. So I'm just filling it up with regular tap water, just trying to I guess kill the buffering capacity of this bright well, which I don't want to pull it all back out. That's where I'm at right now. But I don't really like the way that most of these Caridina look. I like the solid kind of colors that you get from the Neos. You don't really get that too much with the Caridinas from what I've researched anyway. So the only ones that I did find that I liked were the orange eye royal blue tigers. And like I said, Neo parameters, not Caridina. So they like, oop, lost you there for a minute. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know what to do. So we're just going to keep filling it up with tap water, keep doing water changes, try to kill the buffering capacity, and you know, we'll just put some orange eye royal blue tigers down there or something, I don't know. We'll see. So we're just about full on this 20 gallon. Let me put you down, I'll get back to you in a few minutes. On to this next 20 gallon, we got this one filled up, looking nice and clean-ish. Probably should have done some algae scrubbing, but now it's a little bit too late. But whatever. It is what it is. So we're filling up this Neo tank here. Look at this guy. Red, brown, purple. Oh, there's the one that I've been thinking of. Can you see him? Where is he at? Right there. Check that guy out. There's a light blue there, but see that really dark? That's a purple shrimp. Purple, a little bit of blue right in the middle of the back, and then more of a brownish red, rusty red on its tail. That is my favorite shrimp out of this tank right now. Very cool. Oop, we gotta be careful we don't go over here. Said these tanks fill up rather quick. We're definitely draining my hot water tank, but that's okay. We're just about done. We got the 55 gallon and one more 40 breeder to do over there. You also want to make sure you always plug your heaters back in right away. So here's one thing that I did on all my heaters. Wrapped a piece of white electrical tape right on them so I know which one is the heater, and I also always plug them into the very top receptacle on the power strip or whatever you're using for your power. That way you know without a shadow of a doubt that that one is your heater. Oops, sorry guys. This one's been very loud and annoying, so we're gonna fill this one up first. This should be fun. But you can hear that guy going in the background. So I cleaned this pre-filter sponge off. I'll probably get in here and do a little bit of filter maintenance too. Just do one side of this double-sided filter, and hopefully that'll be good enough for now. They do have good flow rate in them, and this thing has just been a trooper. This was the Marineland Penguin 350, I think. And I really like that. I mean, for this 55 gallon, you could not put it on anything smaller than a 55, but I don't like that it's all the way over there, and this whole side here has nothing to circulate anything, so I did buy a couple more little penguins down there, the just the 100s, just the ones that are set up for all these ones here. So I bought another few of those so I could slap one over here just to get some water circulating on this side of the tank. But we got a bunch of buried females in here. See, she's buried, and let's see. I'm gonna take my word on this, but oh, there's a couple right there. So those two are buried there, the bigger ones. We got one crawling around right there that's buried. Oh geez, focus. A few more, but I counted 5 this morning, so we'll see how well they do. Hopefully I don't cause them to molt or something, but check out the way this moss has been growing too. I think this is the coolest chunk of moss that I have. I'm not even sure what it is. I thought everything I had was Java moss, but I could be wrong. I don't know my mosses. This one up there looks like Christmas moss, because it's growing up kind of like that. But this one here has been kind of bushy. Keeps bushing out around these sticks that I got in there. But so here's another reason I never turn these off. They automatically reprime themselves. So it's just about there. It's sucking water up. I didn't have to add any water to the back of the filter at all. I did nothing. It just does it all on its own. Let's see, come on. There it is. All by itself, reprimed. So you're always keeping that that agitator going, spinning around, and if it spins for too long like that with no water flowing in, it'll definitely heat up the water. But oh geez, the focus today. Hopefully we're getting close. I think we're running out of hot water. Alright, I'll get back to you in just a minute here. Let me finish filling this tank up. We'll move it over to the 40 breeder over there. Hot water tank kicked on, so it's a little bit louder. Furnace is also blowing, but so now we're filling up the last 40-gallon breeder. I got all the other ones 50% water changed. This one, the biggest reason I wanted to do a 50% on this one with the shrimp in here and stuff, these plants are like stunted. So even this Ludwigia has been, I mean, it's just not growing. In all of my other tanks, running the same lights, same water, same drip system, all that stuff. I don't have any issues with the plant growth. They just keep going. So this little tiny piece of water wisteria was just a little tiny chunk that came off of these ones. Well, this was a little piece, and it grew up that fast. Whereas these ones back here, they're all the way in the back past that shrimp there. These have been in the tank since day one. They converted. It took a long time for them to convert from immersed to submerged growth here, but they really haven't done much else. This Bacopa, or what is this? This is another Ludwigia palustris or palestratus or something to that effect. These Hygros haven't done anything. This Bacopa Carolinia hasn't done anything. The only one that did well was this Telanthera Rhynicii, or Alternanthea Rhynicii, the Cardinalis one there, and that one's growing really well, you know. So I'm not sure what that is. Same thing with this this one here. This the same thing, Hygrophilia. This moss, it grew really well, but it's, you see all the brown in it. It's just, I don't really understand what's going on here. So I thought maybe my lighting wasn't enough, so I ordered up another, just the 24-inch Beamswork LED. Oh, look at that, she's got eggs. It's the first time I've been able to tell. That's awesome. Before I thought she was buried, but again, it's so hard to tell with these shrimp. This is the first time I've been able to see inside of her like that. So I'm really happy. I did find that I had some yellow shrimp that hitched a ride, possibly with some plants, or maybe they came in with this moss. I'm not really sure. I had one about a month ago that I found in here, just a little guy. And now just recently I found another one in the last couple of days that I don't know how it got there. So hopefully those aren't more mixed Neos. But if they are, that's cool too. I like them just the same. But I guess I'm going to cut off the video here. It's getting a little bit long, and this is just water change day, so nothing too exciting or special. Not really much to look at. Again, all of these filters started up all on their own. All I did was clean off the intake sponges and put them back on. And I should actually get up here and clean those overflow intake sponges too, just in case. And if you're wondering, before this video cuts off again, so I went ahead and these are this is what I got. Pre-filter sponge, 12 pieces. This was I think they're made for the fluval edge or something like that. Aquariums, but I've used them. I use them everywhere. They're awesome. I used to get a 3-pack. It was a little bit cheaper. It was $6. I think those were $12 for 12. So 3 for $6 or 12 of them for $12. What do you know? I bought the right ones. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out with Bearded Bob, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.